Hi everyone, so I'm back in my home city today because it's the Miners' Gala. I don't normally come to this event, but it's basically an event that is set in the centre of Durham, where all the community of miners and all the pit villages and towns round about the city of Durham all come together in one place, and the speakers on talking about how to improve working life. Speakers speaking out against the government, against policies, and it's all about like freedom at the end of the day, and love in society, which is a great thing. But it's got us kind of thinking, guys, because sometimes with me, like I tend to ignore the political situation. Like years ago, I stopped watching the news. I stopped listening to kind of parliament things where whoever was in charge, things like that. To me, that's just a personal choice. Like, I don't want to know who the Prime Minister is, okay? I don't even want to know. Because what I realised was, after observing this for quite a few years, because I used to be addicted to the news for years, and after I observed this for a long time, I realised no matter what the public do or say, okay, it doesn't make any difference, because the whole political system is kind of corrupt and it's all staged, okay? So when I see a lot of people here, which there's probably thousands upon millions of people here today, I'll show you some pictures after this, some videos I've took, by the way. And yes, I did go on that ride that you're going to see when I show you these videos, okay? Because I love those rides. It's the claw rides that go like this. So I did go on that, but yeah, like I was saying, guys, I mean, sometimes I think, is it even worth fighting the government and voting against the political party that's in charge if you don't agree with them? Because what I learned over the years is sometimes it's best just to not get involved at all. Like, don't even vote. Just literally don't pay any attention to it, don't get involved, because where attention goes, energy flows. So if all this attention of negativity is creating the argument, okay, like all this negativity and going against the government creates the argument so that the governments have something to fight, and that's what keeps it going. It's the energy of the fight. It's like fighting fire with fire. So to me, it's kind of pointless. Like, it's pointless even voting if you don't agree with the political system, because if you are voting, you're then part of the system, and if you're part of the system's got energy to keep going. And the only way we're going to get into a society where we can love each other is by, like, literally stop voting altogether, okay? Just don't even pay any attention to it, because the less attention these politicians, governments get, okay, the less power they've got. Okay, the less power they've got, because people will start to come into their own reality, which is what I teach on this channel a lot, how to become in your own reality, not rely on the external, which is all a big, massive to and fro of energies in the dualistic state of being, which is leading nowhere. All it's leading to is arguments, okay? It's the same with the Black Lives Matter, etc., okay? Whoever created that is an absolute moron, okay? Because white lives matter as well, okay? Saying Black Lives Matter, to me, is racist in itself, you see, because you're separating. And this is what people, for some reason, in society now, like to do. They like to separate, but a lot of them don't even realise they're separating. They think they're fighting a good cause, but what they don't realise is they're separating themselves from another self. And as long as there's separation there's always going to be that to and fro battle, struggle in a dualistic way of thinking. And it's only when we all come together as one and realise we're all just as powerful as each other is when we're going to create like probably is eventually a one world government based on common sense and love. Okay, I hope this is going to happen, guys, because if it doesn't, then it's just going to get worse and worse, and the human species will probably be in a lot of danger. The more this happens, the worse it's going to get, and the worse it's going to get, the more catastrophes is going to happen, okay? The world's going to be a lot harder place to live in, and in my eyes, it's going to get to a point where, like, we're not even going to survive, so we're going to have to do something, because humans like to learn the hard way. Like, we all like to learn the hard way sometimes, but not us, okay? Us on this channel, we've realised we can see the future, we can see what's going to happen, and at the moment, the way the political situation and the economical situation is, it's extremely extremely worrying, okay? But then again, me worrying about it is part of that duality, you see? So if you worry about it and you fight it, then you're part of it, you see? So the only way is to remove yourself from it altogether. Never ever watch the news again. Like literally, like I'll speak to people on the street, like old people who've watched the news all their life, and then they're talking about these things happening in the news to me, and I'm like, I don't have a clue what they're talking about, okay? So I literally tell them, I stopped watching the news many years ago, and my life just got better. And you can see this look in their eyes, like kind of like, yeah, I know, yeah, it's all negativity, isn't it? It's all negativity, but they still do it. Like, why? Why do they still do it? Because I think people are sometimes addicted to that negativity, okay? They're addicted to the negativity, and I don't know why, okay? And it's only when you come out of this negative state and go into your own being, love for yourself, go out and create your own reality, is when you start leveling up those vibrational frequencies of awareness and become happy in yourself, and everything just becomes blissful and joyful from then, and you're not part of this massive war going on constantly in the world of duality, in the world of mass media, social manipulation, etc. I think another dynamic that's happening here is, guys, everybody's only got like so much energy, okay? As humans, we've only got so much energy to give, okay? And a lot of people are stuck giving their energy into the dualistic system, where they're constantly fighting things all the time, good and bad, you know, black and white, all this energy that they're putting into the system. And because they're putting this energy in the system, they don't have enough energy left to use the leftover energy to do what they want, okay? Which should be people's main energy, I would say. Using the energy to do what you want and create your own reality, rather than relying on the reality that you're told about in the news, in the media, and what governments want you to live as, okay? Which is basically a battery to the system, but I've said this in previous videos. You need to kind of remove yourself from that dynamic, and the only way you can remove yourself from it is let go of other things, you see? Because in order to go on new vibrational levels of awareness, you have to let go of the old paradigms you're on, so that you can allow the new paradigms to come in. But the issue here is, I think people are unaware of these amazing paradigms where you can create your own reality, because to most people, they don't even know you can create your own reality. And this is the issue. This is one of the reasons I make these videos, because until we as humans learn how to like create our own reality, we're not going to be able to love, because creating your own reality is love for the self, and once you find love for yourself, you find love for others as well. So this actually increases the love in the world, and it'll lead to creating a better government and a better system, which will be a lot better for all of us in the future, you see, guys. So what I'm talking about here also takes us back into the dynamic of the paradoxical nature of love and reality, you see, because you've got all these negative people out there who are focusing on this negative. Now, why would people focus on negative, you see? This is what you have to realize. The only reason they would focus on the negative is if they want to fix the negative, you see? So it's all coming from a place of love deep down. But what they don't realize is that the more focus they put on the negative, the more they're backing up the negative, because where attention goes, energy flows, you see? So they're actually creating the negative by focusing on it. Now, I'm not saying there isn't a place in society for this, okay? Because there is a level of awareness where this is necessary, because what this does is it builds up the foundational levels to reach self-love. And that self-love is when you have enough love for yourself to kind of come out of it. You see, you step out of it into the 0 point, which is not the dualistic way of thinking anymore. You see, and the only way you can step out of this is by going through it so much, getting so wound up in your mind about positive and negative, and fighting this and that, okay, which is the separation in society, and eventually you'll come out of that with self-love, and then you don't need to do it anymore, and you can leave it to those who are still on those vibrational levels of awareness where they have to still do this, because ultimately it all leads to love. And we're taught what's positive and negative when we're young, but this is the start of it, you see, because people don't really understand the laws of energy and how it works, because it's not taught in schools yet. So if they were taught this, people would come out of this easier and we'd evolve as a species much faster, you see. This is why it's very, very easy to focus on negativity. It's more easy to focus on the negative than it is the positive, you see, because we're wired up that way, because we know we need to fix the negative to get to the positive. So it's all based on love, but it's just taught in the wrong way, you see. If you ever had many people, okay, many friends who love you and think you're amazing, but there's this one person comes in your life now and again who doesn't like you and got a problem with you. Now, what this causes is it causes your mind to focus on that one negative when there's 1,000 positives, you see. So we because of love, we focus on one negative and we kind of fixate on this negative because we know that this negative needs to be fixed in the name of love, because love is everything. However, you have to realize that love is everything on that level of awareness, but when you reach a certain level of awareness, after all this, you realize love is just for yourself. And when you have love for yourself, you come out of that paradigm, you see. So you don't need to give as much external fight anymore to try and fight for love. You realize love is internal, and love for yourself creates the mirror effect externally, which then takes you out of this paradigm of good and bad, black and white, the dualistic nature of reality, you see. The paradox here again is that love is everything, and once you reach this level of awareness and you come out of that dualistic way of thinking, the paradox is if everybody did that, there would be no fighting in the world, there would be no wars anymore, you see. But can that happen? This is the thing. This is why there's a time and space for everybody in this reality in all different levels of awareness. But what I'm saying here is you eventually evolve out of this level of awareness into a whole new one where you create your own reality, and then you're no longer being controlled by the wind, okay, like a leaf in the wind. You've set your sails and you can now focus on what you want to focus on, create your own reality and find that true inner joy, which we take with us to the next dimension, etc., etc. And I think that's what we're here for, guys. One final dynamic I want to discuss in this video is the dynamic of money, because a lot of what people fight in this reality is the consequence of money and the corruption involved in money. And what's happening is you've got millions and millions of people in this fight against governments, etc., but a lot of them don't really understand the level of corruption in these governments, okay? So you've got a bunch of people fighting all these things because of money, and they don't have money themselves, so they can never be part of that corrupt system. And that corrupt system can never be beaten, you see, because everything goes where the money is, you see, and the more money people have, the more corrupt they can become, which is one of the biggest paradoxes here, guys. Okay, because Jesus himself taught us to be weary of money, okay, be very careful with money. He didn't like money very much. But the corruption in money itself is creating this dynamic where everybody is fighting, which is then bringing people to love. You see, so even the corruption in money itself is a big part of the love evolution process. But that's one final point I want to make, guys. What do you think, guys? Please leave your comments. Send this to anybody who you think could benefit from this. Like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll leave you with some beautiful views of the Miners' Gala here at Durham City. Enjoy. Have a nice day, guys. Love you all.